Hey everybody, and welcome back to more Spider-Man for the PlayStation 4.
Wish I could do something to help Doc. Maybe call Harry. Ask him to talk to his dad. No. Norman never listens to Harry. Even tried to kill funding for his research stations. Hey, one of those stations is nearby. See how they're doing while Harry's in Europe.
Ah yes,
Must be
Harry
some way
is
to
in
help Doc.
Europe. Because Norman was like, Harry you're
left me
starting
a
to
message
really
about
get
these
on my
before he
nerves,
left.
and I'm sending you to Europe. Because that's what most good
Hey, I need a
families
favor.
do.
My mom's pet project was research stations that could benefit the public. Now, I launched them, but now that I'm away, Oscorp's gonna shut them down unless they prove their value. I was hoping you could watch them. I left details in each one. Thanks, man. As long as they're here, it's like a part of my mom is, too.
Well, it's not gonna pay the bills, but it sounds like it means a lot to him. I'll do what I can to help.
So yeah, we have a new thing here to do. It's the research stations, obviously created by Harry, and they're kind of like a new side quest we'll be taking part in now.
I've got a couple stations measuring air pollution. The idea is to catch the, contaminants before they reach toxic levels. Between you and me, I think Oscorp wants this to fail because it might show they're polluting.
The amount of polycyclic hydrocarbons in the air is way too high. And rising. If it keeps getting worse, people could die. Particles are concentrating in trouble spots, like mini clouds of smog. I'll swing through them and get samples, then trace them to the source.
So, there's smog a lot here in this city. So it's basically that episode of South Park where Kyle, I think Kyle, moves to California and Cartman has to go rescue him from all the smog or whatever it is. I like that episode of South Park. It's quite a good one. I think it's like because they buy like those like energy cars, like the electric cars, or so they buy some kind of car, and because like there's so much like douchiness, it like makes this big like storm or something. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I watched that episode, but I remember really thinking it was funny. South Park has like some episodes that talk about superheroes because you have like the Coon and Coon and Friends, and I do love the Coon. I think the Coon and Friends stuff is funny at certain points. I think sometimes it really like
I'm getting some good stuff.
gets a little annoying or obnoxious, but every time I think it's pretty cool. I probably should have actually what's going on screen. So, the research stations are obviously created by Harry, as I brought up earlier. They're kind of like the new like side quest collection thing you can do. You have to do this if you want to get certain kinds of costumes, so I do recommend doing it. Some of these are pretty easy, like these, where just like you're running through like the smog clouds. That's really easy. There's one in particular that gives me a lot of trouble whenever I do it, and it's basically they're like vents, and you have to shoot the vents across this building with your web shooters, and it's hard to tell like what's a vent and what's not, and that one really gives me a lot of trouble. Like these where you're just like going through the smog is really easy. There's no time limit, you just have to run through them. And honestly, I think as long as like you barely get in it, it'll count it majority of the time. They're not too difficult, but yeah.
The toxins
If you want to do it, you do it. You feel free.
And a faulty smokestack. I better get photos.
So right now, we're actually going to chase where these cars are coming from. And I love that Harry has these. I actually do think these are pretty cool, and I kind of hope they do something, maybe not the exact same thing, but I wouldn't mind if they did something kind of similar in Spider-Man 2 whenever they do that. I think it'd be pretty cool. Yeah, I don't really know, like, I'm all for, you know, taking care of the environment. I want the Earth to be treated well because, you know, littering's kind of douchey, and you shouldn't do it because, you know, what if you throw some plastic down and an animal eats it and dies? You're gonna feel awful, you know? That's probably the worst, and not at worst, but it's probably one of the weirdest things I've ever said in a Let's Play, and that's accounting for a lot of things. But yeah, we're just gonna go up here in the smokestack, you know, take a quick picture, and yeah.
Best smokestack picture I ever took. The Department of Environmental Protection will take it from here. Maybe I should make a green spider costume for Earth Day.
I'm not gonna lie, that would be kind of awesome.
Well,
I wish that was like a
Harry's gonna stop
costume
the
you
public
could,
health crisis.
you know,
Oscorp's
get
gonna have a
wear
hard
in this
time
game,
arguing it's
but,
not
you know.
useful.
Yeah, that's really about it for right now. We'll for sure do some more of Harry's stuff later
Shocker
on.
has escaped, and now he's robbing a bank on East 31st.
What happened? I thought he was behind bars.
He was, but one of the guards just walked up to his cell and released him, then gave him his suit back.
I knew Shocker was working for someone. What did you get out of the guard?
Wish I could ask him, but he's dead. Whoever made him release Shocker didn't want any loose ends.
Damn.
Looking at the security footage, the guard was in some kind of trance. And it might have been the lighting, but it looked like his eyes were glowing.
Well, that's creepy. Okay, I'll see what I can get out of Shocker when I get to the bank.
And you can bank on that, Yuri, but Tish. But yeah, that is quite interesting that a guy went up to the cell of the Shocker and let him out and then killed himself. That is interesting. More on that later on in the game. And his eyes are glowing, which is also even stranger. Yeah. But it's time, finally, for us to put on a new suit. So yeah, I hope you're ready, because this is quite a fancy and one of my favorite Spider-Man suits. This is the Stark suit.
Peter, I've been looking into the demons. Sounds like they've quietly established a power base in the vacuum left by Fisk.
The vacuum I created by putting Fisk away. Jameson was right. The demons are my fault.
But what were you supposed to do? Let Fisk keep godfathering? Are you okay? You sound even mopier than usual.
I think I might have just lost my job. The city, Norman actually, pulled our funding.
Oh, Pete. I'm sorry. If Harry were here, he could talk some sense into his dad. You'll find another source. Your work's too important.
Thanks, MJ. Talk to you soon.
Let's go surprise the Shocker.
Herman! Long time no see. Hey, I'm no lawyer, but, I'm pretty sure that's a parole violation. Oops, guess we're stuck in here for a while. Want to play 20 questions? No? How about we thumb wrestle? Okay, face punch it is. Whoa, your gauntlets are all digital now, aren't they?
Have it your way. You wanna fight? Let's fight!
But it's not Friday!
Man, can't wait to put you back behind bars so we can talk science. Remember our first fight? Me so young and stupid, you just stupid.
I love that line a lot.
Well, that's a matter
I think Peter and Shocker have some of the best interactions from hero to villain in this game. They're all quite funny. So Shocker, as I brought up in the last episode, here it is Herman Schultz. He made his debut in The Amazing Spider-Man 46, and in this game he's voiced by Dave B. Mitchell. He's done some previous roles, like he's Dr. Octopus in Spider-Man Edge of Time, and he's also Sector in the most recent Mortal Kombat game, which is Mortal Kombat 11. Shocker, he was originally a robber, and he's like a robber engineer, whatever like type, and he was caught and arrested and sent to prison. Basically there he had a workshop, and he basically began experimenting, and ended up creating his gauntlets that allow him to send out shockwaves. A little interesting story, I guess, about Shocker. During the Spider Island story arc, he actually gets 6 arms because he gets the spider virus. Pretty cool, I think.
You know, people don't use banks anymore. You're lucky you found actual cash. If you really want to rob banks, try day trading. It's all the rage. Wait. Oh, no! Oh, come on, Herman! You tell me who you're working for. I can help you cut a deal.
If I talk, I'm dead! They made that very clear! Stand still!
If you ask nicely, maybe.
You know, Shocker is kind of stupid. I could see him being more of a Bitcoin guy, honestly, instead of just using, you know, actual good currency. Yeah, Bitcoin's weird.
You're freaking me out, Herman. It's not like you to be afraid of people.
Not even sure these guys are people! Could be anything under those masks!
Wait, Did you say Max?
Now we get a little bit more info and interesting dialogue, because Shocker, let's be honest, it's pretty obvious. Shocker is working for the demons. You know, kind of interesting. I do love the name Shocker, just because he uses shockwaves. Honestly, Shocker could be he could be a boss in Kingdom Hearts 2, and nobody would bat an eye because of all the shockwaves.
Give up now and we can protect you!
No way! You ain't see what I do! You son of a...
Okay, last chance to give up. This time I really mean it.
Quit moving!
You know, he can break those webs earlier when they're on his arms, but he can't just quickly break the one on his leg, unless it's like a more powerful web, which I don't know, the game never says that. The Shocker's just stupid, okay? Is that really a shocker, pun intended, for you, that he is an idiot? He can make gauntlets that shoot out shockwaves, but he doesn't have the bright idea of, oh, if I just destroy this web, I can move around. I didn't mention, this boss fight's really fun. Basically, you just need to dodge Shocker a lot and dodge his shockwaves. I really like this fight a lot, because it's more of an open area, and you're actually like in his face and hitting him. It's really cool. This is actually one of my favorite boss fights in the game.
Sorry, Herman. You brought this on yourself. Literally. Man, he was scared and desperate. These demons are everywhere all of a sudden. Okay, Yuri. Shocker's all yours now.
Good work. We have a special cell waiting for him at the raft. We'll make sure he stays behind bars this time.
Also, I'm pretty sure he was working for the Demon Gang.
Demon Gang? Sounds like a Daily Bugle headline.
Hey, the Bugle is a perfectly fine news organization.
Not sure I'd call it news.
Well, I've heard they have some really good reporters. Anyway, have you had any more reports on demon, guys with masks?
Let me get back to you. By the way, how much of a mess did you make inside that bank?
You probably don't want to know.
Shouldn't have asked.
Let's just say you're in
Fight with
quite
Shocker
a
took a
debt.
while. Time to
You're
catch
in
up on what
debt
I've been
to
missing.
Spider-Man for taking down the Shocker. There you go. There was a pun. Not a very good one, but it was a pun. I have to fill my pun quota for the part every time. It's just a weird thing I have.
Hey, pal. This station tests particulate matter in the air. Now, you'd probably have some science jargony way to say this, but basically, too much is not good.
Readings are troubling but inconsistent. The only way I'll figure out what's going on is to test nearby emissions. But I've got other problems. The sampler's detecting toxic particles. Better check it out. That steam vent's a good place to start.
So this is the new type of the missions for the research stations. I totally didn't forget what they were called there for a
something in here
second.
that doesn't belong.
And a new, I guess it's
Let's
technically
analyze it.
the first time we're actually doing one of these, I think. So with these puzzles, you're basically taking one of these bars that have the lines on them, and you need to connect it where the bars go from, obviously, black to white. These are really easy. These are actually my favorite puzzles to do because of how easy they are, and they don't take any time. And it's something
Mercury.
that's easy for me, which makes
Bonded
it
with
automatically better. So,
something
yeah.
else. I can't tell
But
what.
with these, we're basically just going to track and see where all this like dangerous gas is coming from. We need to stop it.
Obviously
These are
isn't
definitely my
confined
more
to one
favorite
building.
types of the research stations to
people are
do
at risk.
because I feel like you're actually like on the move and doing something cool, and they have like that little bit of mystery, I guess, to it. Like, oh my gosh, where is this coming from? And it has a really good sense of progression, and I like that a lot. And you get to do these cool little puzzles, which I also enjoy. But while we're
See
doing
what a
this
sample
analysis
from this
going
can
on,
tell me.
it's time for some trivia. So, in the last episode, we got introduced to Norman Osborn. Obviously, he is the Green Goblin. As the Green Goblin, he made his first appearance in The Amazing Spider-Man 34, and as Norman Osborn, he made his first appearance in The Amazing Spider-Man 23. In this game, he is voiced by, and I'm going to say his name wrong, Mark Rolston, who has done some other things, more DC stuff, because he's Lex Luthor in Young Justice, And I've never watched that show, but I hear it's really good, especially if you like
Nitric
Teen
acid in
Titans
there,
back in the
too.
day. And
But also
in
something
Injustice,
else.
not Injustice, in Batman Arkham
I'm on the
Origins,
right
he
track.
plays
Just
Deathstroke,
need to
so he
keep
goes
following
from
the
being
trail.
the main
Some
villain of
widespread
Superman and a Batman villain
Whole neighborhood's in
to
danger from this.
one of the main villains in Spider-Man. So yeah, and obviously in the movies he's played by Willem Dafoe. So yeah, I don't remember who plays him in the Amazing Spider-Man movies, even though he's not in the movies that long, 'cause he dies pretty early. He's sick or something.
That
It's
stinks
really
to high
strange.
heaven.
And, yeah, Amazing Spider-Man's
find out
not
what's in
very good. Some interesting stories, I guess, involving Norman Osborn. At one point, he gets the Carnage symbiote and becomes the Red Goblin, which automatically sounds. I don't know if that story is good or not, but that sounds pretty cool. And at one point, when the Dark Avengers comic is going on, he is the Iron Patriot, which is pretty awesome. I think. I don't know if that story is good. I'm just taking a guess here. And I guess going on one more trivia because it's just the research station currently.
Why is this sounding so familiar?
We haven't talked about the Stark suit yet. So the Stark suit originates from the MCU. It debuted in Captain America:
Gotta get
Civil
back on the
War as a
trail.
gift from Tony Stark
this
to
is
help
over, I'll alert the health
pursue
department
Peter
so
into
they can
joining his
check on
fight
the
against
local
Captain
residents.
America, and while he was on the run with Bucky, trying to keep Bucky from dying. This suit also makes a comeback in Spider-Man: Homecoming as he gets an AI partner dubbed Karen, because everybody hates the woman named Karen. She's just kind of a thought. And this suit in the movie actually has a training wheels program, which I do kind of like, and his friend Ned basically hacks into it and removes it.
Caustic chemicals are leaking out of those barrels and into the plumbing. Need to clean up the site fast. Huh. The calcium and silicon in concrete makes it an ideal absorption material. Looks like I'll have to make a mess to fix this mess.
Pretty sure the audio cut out for him there. I don't know if it was intended.
It's working.
This part reminds me of Kingdom Hearts 2, when those barrels are on fire and you have to like make them like not be on fire. I think you should like hit them out of the water. I don't know why it reminds me of that. It just does for some odd, strange reason.
That could have been way worse. Harry's research station just proved why it needs to stay open.
Gosh, that is so cathartic to do. Like when you're jumping, like from the top of a building, and you're like heading towards the ground, and then you hit like to go like swing a web. I don't know why. That's one of my favorite things to do. Like in any Spider-Man game. Like in particular, you play like Spider-Man 2, or any of the other games. Majority of the time, when you like jump off a building, you'll kind of just fall and either like die or get take damage. In this game, it doesn't kill you. He'll really just do a superhero landing. Deadpool clip whenever, I guess.
You're gonna do a superhero landing. Wait for it. Woo! Superhero landing.
But even then, I like it and I don't like it. Because when the first time you're like, oh, he did a superhero landing. And then every time after, I'm like, I kind of wish he would just, like, fall. Because that's just realism. But I guess, superhero landing, I guess it's easier for, like, fans who don't know that kind of thing. And they're just like, oh, I can't die when I do this. So I do get it.
Hey, so I looked into reports of demons.
I knew you'd come around.
They've been pretty busy tonight, hitting a lot of Fisk properties.
They're going after Fisk? Damn. You thinking what I'm thinking?
Brewing gang war?
Let's try to get ahead of it. Are there any Fisk properties that haven't been hit tonight?
Let me see. Patrol reported a bunch of activity at one of his shipyards in Portside.
Thanks, Yuri. I'll check it out.
So yeah, we have our next destination where we need to go. We'll actually be covering that in the next episode. Really, for the rest of the episode, we're kind of just like heading there and doing stuff, but it's cool stuff.
Hey, Yuri. Any idea what Fisk uses that shipyard for?
No idea. Let me send an officer to meet you there. His name's Jefferson Davis. That's his beat. He's a good cop. Been working the Fisk case for years. If anyone knows what's going on at that shipyard, it's him.
So basically, Jefferson Davis is a real captain of the craft. I don't have a good pun. I felt like I did when I was thinking it before I said that, and when it just came out, it didn't sound as good. So I noticed that happens a lot with puns. Yeah. So we'll get more into Jefferson Davis in the next episode when we meet him. But he's definitely one who I don't have a lot to talk about with him, but like I do have some things to bring up about him.
Doc left a message.
Peter, I might have been a bit hasty advising you to find another job. I have a plan. Give me a bit of time. We may yet live to invent another day.
The indomitable Otto Octavius. That's great news. Hope his plan works.
So that's cool. He's still gonna have a job, you know. Happy. I don't want anybody to lose their job. But I do want to bring up some info about, not info, but like my opinion on the Stark suit here. So the Stark suit is my or Homecoming suit. Oh, I'm gonna say Homecoming suit 'cause it's kind of what we all know it as. The Homecoming suit is my favorite live-action Spider-Man suit. I know some people are gonna be like, but the Tobey Maguire suit, and I'm gonna add to that and say, overrated suit, the silver lining, it does not look that cool. That's just me, but I like the Homecoming suit a lot more. It looks more like traditional, like to the original suit. But like, it's like the old, like the original suit, but like modified for like modern days, I guess, is how I want to put it. And I really like it a lot. I think it's cool. It's definitely my favorite live-action suit. I just think it looks really cool. And I actually really think Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man, well, live-action Spider-Man over Tobey Maguire. You can fight me IRL if you disagree, but I'm sure we'll talk about this in the next episode. So I'll see you guys next time for Marvel Spider-Man when we finally meet up with Jefferson Davis. See you guys next time.